Warning: this podcast discusses paranormal activity and other topics some might find disturbing. Listener discretion is advised.
Hello.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. I had a wonderful weekend with a very special lady.
Who might that be?
Her name is my baby.
Oh, that was me, everybody. That is me. And we had a wonderful weekend.
Yes, we did.
You want to tell them what we did?
So for Mother's Day, I was racking my brain trying to think about something to get Ashley for Mother's Day. And I know that she really values experiences over things. So we've been talking about wanting to go to the Omni Grove Inn.
Grove Park Inn.
Omni Grove Park Inn in Asheville, North Carolina. So it's an hour and a half?
Hour and a half from where we live.
And so I booked a room for Saturday night and got a dinner reservation at one of their View
1913.
Yep, View 1913 because the hotel was built in 1913.
Yeah, look, I got my sweater on.
You do. I love that sweater. They built the hotel.
Oh,
in
y'all!
11 months.
11 months. They can't even build houses in 11 months.
It is
some houses.
It's a giant 150. The original was a 150 room hotel.
Huge.
And the whole edifice outside is rock that they brought up on what they called the automobile train.
Yes, just like a car pulling
a bunch of wagons
made out of wood with like iron wheels or whatever.
Yeah, hauling
rock
and
stone
up the mountain.
It was crazy.
And Italian stonemasons
who came from Italy.
But they were actually building the interior before they finished the exterior.
They wanted to make sure the interior was done.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted to build it. It was Edwin Groves and his son-in-law Thomas Seeley built that in less than a year because I can't remember what it said why they wanted it done so quickly, but they did not want to waste any time. Yep. They wanted the inside ready to go for customers and patrons.
I have a feeling it was because the pharmacist, Mr. Grove, wanted to start seeing a return on his investment.
Oh, he loves some money. So, okay. So what we're talking about today, we just kind of dove right in with very little chit chat today, is we are talking about the Grove Park Inn. We went there for my Mother's Day, as he said, and the moment we walked in, both of us were like, this is like the Crescent Hotel.
Yes, it's very similar. I mean, they were built, 30 years apart?
Yes, so the Crescent was built in done in 1886, and then the Grove Park Inn was built in 1913. So I think one of the biggest differences between the two hotels is the size. Like the Crescent's big. Mm-hmm. It's no small building.
No.
Especially with the huge stone and the limestone. Like it is a massive, imposing structure.
Right.
But the Grove Park Inn is ginormous. Yeah. Like the lobby, you could have fit probably 4 lobbies of the Crescent inside the Grove Park Inn.
Oh, yeah.
It was huge.
Oh, yeah. It's definitely massive. The fireplaces.
Well, no, there's
just one. Or was there one on the other side?
There was one on the other side.
Okay.
You know what my favorite thing, and I'm all over the place, but that's how my mind works because I'm like a squirrel in a hamster ball, just kind of going everywhere. One of the things that I was taken aback, but I love so much, the elevators were behind the fireplaces, and we couldn't find the elevators. And the guy was like, they're right there, and we're like staring at him like, okay.
Yeah.
Are we being punked? Because it was just a door. It was just a door. Mm-hmm. It wasn't an elevator, but it was an elevator behind that door, behind the fireplace.
What was cool to me is the elevator had 2 doors. So
it did.
It
had 3 doors.
That's right, it did.
It opened up on different sides.
Yep. Depending on which floor you went to.
Yeah, so the first lobby floor, you went into the front door.
Mm-hmm.
When we stayed on the second floor, we stayed in room 264.
Mm-hmm.
And you could, like, if you're facing the back wall, you get out the right door. But if you went to the third, fourth, or fifth floors.
Yeah, on the left, one of the children.
Oh, hello, children. All of our children are home and we are trying to record because I'm about to be at work nonstop. So we are trying to get this recorded while it's fresh in our minds and we forget everything because it really was cool. So when we walked into the hotel, instantly my first thought, because I am who I am, is I wonder if this place is haunted.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't feel heavy.
No.
Nothing about the hotel felt heavy except the fifth floor.
Yeah, the fifth floor was awkward.
It was a weird floor, but the building itself inside and all the, especially the new additions, I guess they're new, but they were not added until the 1980s, I believe. Yeah. There was nothing. They didn't feel heavy or anything.
They were just neutral.
Yeah, very neutral.
Very 80s architecture.
It was, the stairs and the elevator to Elaine's and back up.
Yeah.
It was very 1980.
But still very cool and elegant.
Still very cool and elegant, but time has not touched the main building. Mm-mm. I bet it looks exactly the same as it did in 1913.
I didn't mention this while we were there, but I noticed it. Like all the woodworking was very craftsman style, which was very popular during that time, especially in...
Do you hear that?
Mm-hmm.
It's music.
Yeah.
It's music. It's music. Anyway, it's very craftsman. If y'all hear music in the background, it's our almost teenage daughters blaring music.
So, it was just very craftsman style windows and woodwork. And it's just very... That, to me, it's all like that style of woodwork and architecture is very calm. It just seems very homey.
It was very homey, very welcoming, if there is any energy there, it's we're happy to have you.
Yeah, and I would say that's the biggest difference I noticed is the Crescent, you could tell, had a dark history.
Yes, there were darker parts of that hotel.
And you didn't feel that with the Grove Park.
No, not at all. Every bit, other than the fifth floor, and we'll get to that, was very warm. Like very warm. It just felt good. You walk in and you felt like I am supposed to be here right now. Whereas the Crescent, some days, because we were there, for 2 nights? Were we there 2 nights? Some days it just kind of felt like maybe we should not be here. Maybe we shouldn't be over here. Yeah, maybe we should. It's not like we weren't welcome, but it was just.
See, I was going to say it wasn't, if you're comparing the two, relatively speaking, the Crescent wasn't welcome.
No, not if you're comparing the two. The Crescent was not nearly as welcoming as the Grove Park.
And that's not to say anything about the staff at the Crescent or anything. Because
they were wonderful.
They were absolutely wonderful and welcoming.
But the vibe as a whole was a lot different.
Oh yes, most definitely.
And I think if we had gone to the Grove Park Inn and never had been to the Crescent, we wouldn't have known. There wouldn't have been a comparison.
Right, exactly.
But one thing we didn't know before we went to the Grove Park is about the haunting.
Mm-hmm.
And from what I understand, there's only one haunting.
Which is kind of
crazy.
For
being as old as it is, and you have one reported ghost.
Mm-hmm.
And she is the Pink Lady.
The Pink Lady.
The Pink Lady, which I think is fantastic because pink is one of my very favorite colors. And yesterday...
You were wearing pink when we went up there.
We were wearing pink. That's right. And I didn't even notice it, but...
I was not wearing pink.
You were not wearing pink today or yesterday. You did wear pink yesterday. Your socks. But that was after the fact.
Yes, that was after the fact.
When we got there, you were not in pink, but you did still look great. And
thank you.
We, of course, I was super excited to find out about the Pink Lady. And I was very excited because what happened at the Crescent. The Crescent is known for its hauntings. It is known as America's most haunted hotel for a reason. So not knowing that there was actually a haunting at that location and then coming in and just being like, I wonder if this place is haunted. And I Googled it.
Like, ooh.
I said, Daniel.
The Pink Lady.
The Pink Lady. There's a Pink Lady here.
So you haven't told me everything that you've researched and found yet. So,
well, research a little bit of a far stretch of Of a cry, okay.
You're not writing
A dissertation.
I almost said dysentery, but that's
Also not writing any dysentery. Not today and hopefully not ever.
yeah.
But no, so far, I've gotten to one website, and this seems to be a really good website. It is called NorthCarolinaGhost.com, and the title of this article is The Pink Lady of the Grove Park Inn, and that is the website, and I'll link it in the show notes, that I am kind of using for this information.
Gotcha.
I want to dive deeper into Reddit about her, but when I was looking at Reddit earlier, I was having a hard time finding things. So this website...
Yeah, you start looking for the Pink Lady on Reddit. You're just no telling where
you got that right. You never know where you're going to end up there.
No.
But yeah, so this article is really good. It starts with the history of the Grove Park Inn, which we kind of talked about. It opened in 1913, built by Edwin Grove and his son-in-law Thomas Seeley. So, and it touches on the fact that Mr. Grove was a pharmacist and he came up with the chill tonic.
Yes.
And it was a tasteless medicine. And it was very popular because of the fact that it was tasteless. And it was during the time of malaria in the Southeast. And so it was a big deal.
Yeah, there was a what they used then to treat malaria or to prevent it had a really bitter and bad taste.
Very bitter.
So he found a way to suspend that particular ingredient or medicine, chemical, whatever it was, in liquid so that it had no taste. You should link the picture.
Oh, it is in this article, actually. The picture of
this will make you and your kids fat as pigs.
Yes, it says, makes children and adults as fat as pigs. Grove's Tasteless Chill Tonic, on the market over 20 years. 1.5 million bottles sold last year.
It's definitely a turn of the century advertisement.
It is a face of a baby on a pig body.
It's great.
It is. And they had this huge picture, and I will post some pictures on my Instagram of pictures that I took at the Grove Park. And this is actually a little in color, and I believe the picture we saw was in black and white.
Yep.
So it was interesting to find out the history. And Daniel loves the architecture and the fact that there was like an automobile train, and that's how they moved it. And there were pictures of the workers, and they got paid like what was it? $1?
$1 a day, which was super high wages. So people actually quit their jobs,
right,
to come help build the.
And I'm surprised that there weren't more deaths because of the building process.
Yeah, I mean, they were literally blasting apart a mountain to get the rocks and also to build the hotel, and then pulling those rocks up the mountain, setting them. I mean, it's surprising that.
But I'm wondering if there were more deaths and they just didn't report them.
That's possible. Maybe
just because of, just the area of itself and being very rural at the time. Asheville being a very country, mountainous town. And if there were deaths, they just didn't report.
I think OSHA was very lax back
I
then.
bet OSHA was more lax back in the 19-teens or 1910s and early 1900s. We're from the late 1900s.
Yeah.
But yes, I'm really surprised. One thing that I did not find, and I'm sure if I really went down a rabbit hole, I could probably find more. But the most common is the Pink Lady.
Yeah.
And they actually they don't deny it. They have articles about her, and they have clothing, and they have books talking about her. And I wanted that book, but I didn't see it in the store.
Yeah, I didn't either.
So the Pink Lady is said or rumored to have died there in the 1920s. She was a younger woman who was very kind-hearted, spirited, and no pun intended. And from the report that I'm reading and the people the one lady that we did talk to, she was very sweet.
Yes.
And she was younger. And there is a report that she fell to her death, but they do not know if she was pushed or if she jumped or if it was an accident, which sounds familiar.
Yep.
The lady in the white dress at the Crescent also fell. And there is from the 4th floor, I believe.
Yep.
From a balcony. And this lady, the Pink Lady, fell from the balcony of the 5th floor.
Yep. She was staying in room 545.
545. Okay, so this says she was agreed to be a good-natured and even kind spirit. She enjoys children and usually shows herself more to children than she does adults. She has been seen by the beds of children who were taken ill during a stay at the inn, speaking softly to them and gently stroking their hands, which makes me smile because of the story that the elevator attendant told us
Yep.
about one of her encounters with the pink lady.
Yep.
So, and then I'm reading directly from this website on this one. It says, in one famous case, a doctor who had been staying with his family at the Grove Park left a note when he checked out asking the staff to thank the lady in the pink ball gown and that his children told them how much they enjoyed playing with her during their stay. That just gave me goosebumps.
Yeah.
So it also says that she enjoys playing small pranks. Oh my gosh. Okay. So she is blamed for turning on lights, air conditioners, and other electronic devices.
Yeah, that's...
Did your whole body just chill up?
Yep.
Because my whole body just chilled up. So
my legs. Look at my legs.
Oh my gosh. Mine too. Okay. So why we are all chilled up is because when we were doing the tour, so just kind of backtrack a little bit. Daniel and I had gone to dinner and I was in heels and I was like, I got to explore this hotel. I've got to go to the 5th floor because I had Googled the pink lady and I knew that she was on the 5th floor. So I was like, I got to go change into my flip-flops so I can explore the 5th floor. And the elevator attendant, Lish, who is amazing. And I did tell her that I had a podcast. I did not get to talk to her as much
Hopefully
as I wanted
she'll
to.
at some point.
I hope so. I hope she finds me somehow because she is wonderful and absolutely a delight. And if you know Lish at the Grove Park, tell her Ashley with Ghost Gossip adored her. But she saw us through the elevator window going upstairs.
Yeah.
And so she called out to us because I had already gone upstairs looking at pictures. And she's like, are y'all going to look at pictures? And we're like, oh. Like, are we in trouble? Like, are we not supposed to explore? So we went back down. She goes, no, let me take you. So we got on the elevator and she took us up the floor. And I asked her, because she was talking about the construction. She was talking about the pictures, the original, not the original, they're on canvases, but they're from original pictures of the building process. And of course, Daniel, fascinated architecturally, loves it. But I'm like, have you ever had any paranormal experiences? Because that's who I am at heart.
Yeah.
And she's like, and she like got excited.
Yeah, she did.
She did. And she's like, yes. And she said, all of us have had really weird experiences with the pink lady.
Yeah.
I didn't tell her. I didn't ask about the pink lady.
Yeah.
She's like, all of us have had really cool experiences with the pink lady. It's very weird. So she told us that she's had a lot. Unfortunately, she got called and we didn't get to keep talking. And I was hoping to see her before her shift ended, but I did not see her anymore the rest of the night. And if she doesn't really work there and she was a ghost, then I will just fall over dead because I didn't see her anymore after that. But she's got to be real. She's got to be real.
She's real.
So she was saying how one of the most recent encounters, she was having a pain in her neck, like a literal pain in her neck from years of contracting. And her daughter usually rubs her neck for her. And so she was at work in the elevator and her neck started to relax like her daughter was rubbing it. Mm-hmm. And she said to herself, like she thanked her daughter in her own mind. And then she realized, wait, I'm at work. I'm in an elevator and I'm alone. Mm-hmm. But she felt somebody rubbing her neck. And she was like, I just knew it was her. She's very sweet. I just knew it was her. I thought that was really cool.
When we got up to the 5th floor, we're looking around and we go to room 545 to get a picture. So I'm taking a picture of Ashley in front of the door. So I get her phone.
Yep.
I take 2 pictures and then I give her phone back and we kind of step away from the door because people were staying there.
Yes, we were trying to be very discreet. We did not want to bother. They had to please like a private thing on the door. So I was trying to be very quiet.
And so Ashley...
I was trying to be quiet. That's what's so funny.
So when Ashley got her phone back after we had stepped away, she opened it back up.
No, I didn't.
No.
I locked my phone.
So you take over at that point.
Okay. So Daniel handed me my phone back after he took a picture and I locked the phone. I hit the side button. I have an iPhone. And I locked the phone and immediately my phone started playing Grigio Girls by Lady Gaga. Okay. Of all the songs or my phone to start playing, it started playing that song loud.
Yeah.
And it surprised me because I closed out all my apps and I don't keep my apps open. I'm a little OCD about some things and closing out my apps before I lock my phone is one of them. And I had closed out my music. I had closed out Facebook, Instagram, all of it. And Daniel just happened to be in the camera app. And so when he handed me the phone back, I locked the phone and music started playing on its own. And he didn't think anything of it because he's just thinking I must have hit a button.
Yeah.
And I'm staring at the phone like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Daniel, I didn't have music on. I didn't have music on. And he's like, you didn't have music on? I said, no, I didn't have music on. I closed out the app.
Like, maybe I hit something.
And I was like, no, I closed out the app. I didn't have music on. And so that was really cool. And then my lower half, he was burning up hot.
Yes.
And my lower half was completely cold. It started with my one left leg, and my left leg was chilled up. And then it moved to my right leg, almost like somebody was standing beside me on my left and then moved to my right. And it was just really cool. It was a very weird experience. I'm not saying it's paranormal. All I know is it was odd. And just reading that was the first time I read that in that article about her turning on things. And
messing with electronics.
Yes. And while I was in the bedroom, now this is an old building, and I'm not saying that the electrical is new or has been worked on, but the lights were flickering.
There was also a storm.
There was, but it wasn't flickering during the storm because those lights weren't on during the storm. We turned those on when I tried clothes on. Okay. I know. I have a tendency to walk in rooms and lights flicker. It just happens, okay? And I notice it. And maybe it's me, maybe it's not me, maybe it's just bad electrical all around and there's storms everywhere I go. I'm just a walking storm. But it was very cool. Another thing that happened later that evening, and this is something that Daniel and I disagree on, and I'm also not saying this is paranormal, but when we walked into our room, so after we wandered the hallways and we went searching for some energy and we went and looked at all the pictures and we explored a little bit, we went down to Elaine's piano bar, had a dueling piano bar, and we listened to music and had the best time listening to...
Those chairs, amazing.
Yes, those chairs were very comfortable. We just sat there and leaned our head back and listened to music and sang, and it was great. And there was a wedding party, and so we people watched. Yeah. Because that's fascinating.
That was fun.
A lot of drunk people.
Yeah.
We were not drunk.
No.
I'm putting that on the record. We are not big drinkers, but we were some of the only sober folks.
Yeah.
And so it was people watching at its best. And the pianists were amazing, singing, having a blast. And we decide at this point it is way past our bedtimes and we need to go to bed because I'm sleepy. Mm-hmm. And it's almost 11:30. And I'm like, I need to go to bed. So we go up to our room. He unlocks the door and we walk in and we are hit with an overwhelming smell of lavender. So my question is, and Daniel, I know he's an HVAC man, so I know these exist, but there are diffusers that you can put in your filtration system to push essential oils through your house. And I'm wondering, does the Omni Park or the Omni Grove Park Inn do that? Do they put essential oils at night to pump lavender through the building to help relax their patrons?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know that the Omni does that for sure?
I Googled it.
You Googled, but...
I Googled, does Omni...
But they could have been talking about the spa. Because the spa... Okay, listen.
It said in different spaces to include rooms. Okay,
so, but what I'm wondering, can you confirm that they did it that night? That's what I want. I want you to call them, and I want you to be like, my wife wants to know. Come on.
I'm not calling.
I will call.
This is a phone call you're going to have to
I will call and be like, listen, I loved it there. I had such a good time. Just curious. Do you put lavender in your HVAC system? Because it smelled so good about 11:30 at night.
I want that phone call on speaker, please.
Okay. Well, I'm like, should I do it right now? I'm like, you see me. And I hate calling people.
Yeah, I know you do.
I can do a podcast. I don't want to call you.
Yeah.
And I'm like sitting here thinking like, I wonder if they'll answer.
The person you're going to get on the phone probably isn't going to know.
How would they not know? They just start smelling lavender at nighttime? Well, you know what kills me is we didn't smell it earlier. We went back and changed shoes and we left, and it was like 10 or 11:30 at night when we smelled it.
Because those devices are set on a timer to release it.
Okay. Answer for everything over here.
Oh, that's how they work.
Well, I want fact. I want to
Yes,
know.
I'm telling you.
Okay, and I'm sure that I also asked that specific question, didn't I? You didn't tell me that. I asked specifically if that was possible. If they made,
Yes.
remember?
Yes.
So it's not like I just automatically assumed, but it was just really cool, especially after the experience we had with the phone. And it was just like, I wonder if this is the Omni just making sure the people are relaxed and sleeping well, so they're pumping lavender, or what am I smelling? Well, and it's funny because one of my listeners / friends on Instagram was just telling me about her sleep paralysis experience and how she was smelling floral and rose, like maybe not rose, but like a floral smell in certain parts of the hotel she was in. So it was just interesting because I had that message, and then we smelled lavender when we got back to the room at a late hour of 11:30.
From my little bit of research, it is very common in hotels for them to use those devices.
Do you know what's so funny to me, though, is the hall stunk. The halls smell very musty.
Yeah, because they really don't use them.
You know, another fun fact that I found about the hotel, about the Grove Park, is that it's been in continuous operation since 1913
That's pretty amazing.
as a hotel.
I wonder how many other businesses and or hotels can say that, because that's 111 years.
That is a long, I don't know.
Actually, it's 110 years because they didn't open until 1914.
Then why am I wearing a sweatshirt that says 1913?
Because that's when they started building. Construction started in June or July of 1913 and finished in June or July of 1914.
Hello, I am cutting into this podcast to just confirm that the Grove Park Inn did open in 1913. I just wanted the information to be correct, and I'm not sure where Daniel got that it opened in 1914, but you know, sometimes we're wrong, and that's okay. Now, back to the episode. So it is said that the pink lady fell to her death from the 5th floor into the 3rd floor Palm Court atrium.
Ouch.
She was rolled into a carpet and removed from the property. She was wearing pink and staying in room 545 at the time of her death.
Why did they roll her in the carpet?
I don't know. What? Why she?
What year was that?
Hold on, let me see if I can find it.
That's some gangster shit.
It just says in 1920, a woman fell, jumped, or was pushed to her death from the 5th floor onto the 3rd floor Palm Court atrium. She was rolled in the carpet, and she was wearing pink. She was a guest of a guest, so her name was not registered with the hotel. Since her death, there have been reports of people seeing pink mist. Other report TVs turning on and off and their faucets turning themselves on. And this is on WRAL.com.
They rolled her in the carpet.
Yeah, that's what it says. I'm going her friend was joined by a photographer.
I guess they had to get rid of the carpet anyway.
So on this website, it looks like a news website. Looks like they were a news reporter. And so she wasn't, it says she's not a fan of scary movies, but they went there for Halloween in 2019. And it looks like they were staying in room 545, and she was joined by her photographer and her social media sidekick. And she believes that she angered the pink lady that night because she watched The Bachelor in Paradise. And she said, I don't think the pink lady's a fan of reality TV. And then she goes on to say, to get to the main inn, the room 545, you go through these elevators that are located in 2 fireplaces. It's a little creepy. I agree. It is a little creepy. Room 545 overlooks the front drive of the hotel, so you can see the cars coming and going. We spent the day getting lunch at the Buxton Hall Barbecue on Banks Avenue in Asheville. She also cannot recommend this place enough. It says, a night in the room 545. We're so relaxed and tired after the long day, and we settled in after dinner to watch TV. Laura watched The Bachelor in Paradise. When Laura was at the bathroom taking a shower, she saw my makeup toiletries bag fall into the floor. It was sitting on the counter near the sink. Laura described it like it just picked up and flipped over.
Yeah, that's.
Besides this, interesting.
Because I wonder if their counter was the same as ours in our room, and it's like that's pretty deep.
It is pretty deep. It is pretty deep, and you know, I've had things like that too. I've had things that just felt like they were hit off, kind of like a dramatic, like bam, like a cat would do.
Yep.
But yeah, so it says that they think they upset her by watching, I guess, trash TV.
Well, she was a bachelorette, I guess.
And also in that other article I mentioned prior, it said that their rumors are that she was there with a lover, a married lover. And they don't know if she jumped or was pushed, but apparently said lover ended the affair.
Oddly similar to the Crescent.
Isn't that crazy?
It was a different time back
then. Well, also another thing is Thomas Seeley looked a heck of a lot like the doctor from the Crescent.
Yes.
There were pictures of him on the wall, and it was like, is it just me? Or does that look like the doctor from, and like, of course, his name is escaping me at the moment. Norman Baker. Thomas Seeley looked very similar to Norman Baker from the Crescent. There are a lot of parallels. Also, the Crescent, coming kind of back to this, was built by Irish stonemasons, and the Grove Park was built by Italian stonemasons. Mm-hmm. So, just a lot of parallels.
Yeah.
And they are so similar in how they are structured, how they sit on the side of a mountain. It's very, what is the word that you said earlier? It's
an imposing edifice.
It is, excuse it?
It's an imposing edifice.
Edifice. What does edifice mean for us people in the back that don't use big words?
It's the outside. The
exterior?
The exterior.
It is. And so if you've never seen the Grove Park Inn, Google it, because you have the major the major stone structure that it is. And then in the 80s, they added like the two halls.
The Vanderbilt wing and the Salmon's wing.
Salmon's.
Sammons.
Not like the fish.
Salmon's, not salmon.
The L is silent.
Is it though?
Salmon.
Salmon.
Do you pronounce the L in salmon?
Salmon.
Do you really? We're not talking about your friend's last name here.
I think I go back.
I was going to say, I don't think I've ever heard you pronounce the L in salmon. Maybe you did before.
I think if I'm talking about like salmon patties.
See?
But if I'm talking about like
fresh salmon?
Salmon.
Okay, so question, who pronounces the L in salmon? Anybody? I bet the pink lady did. Also, another thing before we close this episode out is when we were walking up the stairs from Elaine's, we took the stairs because, why not? There's nothing but stairs at the Grove Park Inn. There's one thing if you love stairs, the Grove Park is for you because you can't go anywhere without hitting a staircase.
Yeah.
And I told Daniel at one point, people do this for fun.
It's literally on the side of a mountain.
I get that.
It's built into the mountain.
It is built into the mountain. There's a lot of stairs, but instead of taking the elevator, I took the stairs. And he, of course, being the good husband he is, who likes to, stand behind me.
Walk behind her up the stairs.
Yes. We went up the stairs and we get to the floor, which was 10. It goes 10, 8, 7 Elaine's. Mm-hmm. Make it make sense. I don't understand. 10, 8, 7 Elaine's. But we get to the 10th, whatever. It's not the 10th floor, but floor labeled as 10.
Yeah.
And there's a dress in the corner. And before I could get it out of my mouth that I don't like that dress, because I was about to say, I don't like that dress. He goes,
I was in front of you.
You were?
So I'd
on that one.
I'd walked up to it first.
You walked up to it first. And you go, oh, it's the pink lady's dress. And I was like, oh, I was just about to say, I don't like that dress.
Yeah. It was a dress similar to the one she would have probably
been wearing. It was the style from the time period, but it wasn't her dress. It was a dress like she was wearing, or reports have been said to have been seen, because most people see her as a pink mist, but some people do see a full body apparition in a pink dress. Mm-hmm. So I think it really maybe just depends, but it was really cool to go. We were not expecting to have anything paranormal happen. And, maybe it wasn't. Maybe my phone started on its own. Maybe I hit a button. I don't know. I don't think I've ever really turned on music when my apps have been closed before and not had a Bluetooth device connected, like an earphone or something. So it really was, that was to me a really weird experience that I could not explain because I know I closed out my music app.
Yeah.
It was really cool. And just the overall feeling of the floor, like just yes.
I was go ahead and finish because I had a thought.
No, I'm done.
I was just going to say one of the best things to me about the location of it is the views are incredible.
Oh, the view is incredible. It's absolutely, they said you can see on a clear day to South Carolina.
No, that's Overlook Mountain.
Oh, I thought it was from Asheville. From where? Because that's so high up on the side. But no, never mind. Scratch that. Never mind.
Yeah, that was Overlook Castle or Sealy Castle. So
was that Thomas Sealy's building at one point?
Thomas Sealy gave his son-in-law 10 acres. He built that, or something like that, built that Overlook Castle or Sealy Castle.
Thomas Sealy or Edwin Groves? Because Edwin Groves was the owner of the Grove Park Inn. He built the Grove Park Inn with his son-in-law, Thomas Sealy.
Yeah, so Edwin Grove gave Thomas Sealy 10 acres on a nearby mountain. I think it's Sunset Mountain. And that's where Thomas Sealy built Sealy Castle or Overlook Castle. And on a clear day from where it sits, you can see 40 miles to South Carolina. But it's still a privately owned residence, so you can't.
Okay. Yeah, we can't go. We were going to go. We can't go.
It's from what I read, you can only ride by the gates. So.
Well, did you know that Dirty Dancing, the last scene, was filmed at the Grove Park Inn?
Yes.
You knew that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, I didn't know that.
And a lot of it was also filmed at Lake Lure.
Well, I knew it was filmed at Lake Lure, but I did not know that it was filmed at the last scene was filmed at the Grove Park.
Another fun fact about Dirty Dancing is it was also, some of it was filmed at Smith Mountain Lake, which is one of the largest lakes in Virginia, and is where I spent my first Father's Day.
Oh, it's about to be Father's Day, and I have your present, and you won't let me tell you what I got you.
But I want to know what it is, but I don't.
I don't know if I can wait 4 weeks. But if you would turn to me tomorrow and say, I want to know, go ahead and tell me, I think I'm just going to be a stubborn ass and be like, too bad.
You had your chance.
You had your chance. I was willing to tell you for over a week.
I would like to take you to Smith Mountain Lake because it is gorgeous. You
know that I'm always up for an adventure and memories. I love adventure. I prefer memories to presents any day of the week. So this weekend was a lot of fun. Lish with the Grove Park Inn was absolutely amazing. Their staff, Ben, their server at View 1913 was a delight.
The food was amazing.
The food was great. Jose this morning, I believe it was Jose, right? Our server this morning. He was also very sweet. Everybody that we met was phenomenal. The Grove Park Inn. And, maybe you just go and you have a lovely weekend, and maybe the pink lady will turn your phone on to Lady Gaga.
Yeah.
She is a fan of the Lady Gaga.
Yeah.
Who isn't? I love her. Yes, that was our weekend. It was very cool. And if we did get an encounter with the pink lady, I am honored. That was really cool.
We'll definitely be going back and hopefully staying in 545.
Yes, I would like to put in a request that I stay in 545 because I think the pink lady liked us.
I think so.
I think she liked me. She might have been weary of you.
She probably thought I was cute.
You did have on cute socks.
Yes.
Yes, they had pink on them.
Mm-hmm.
Flamingos. So anyway, as always, thank you for listening. Give us a follow on Instagram, TikTok, or wherever you listen. And you can subscribe to something. I don't know what, but I know you can follow me on Apple Music and Spotify and Amazon Podcasts, all the things. If you feel so inclined, I would love a 5-star review. Anything less,
Drop us a comment.
Well, yes, if you can comment on something, sure, comment. So here we are coming to you from the beautiful, nice office that we work so hard in, and we enjoy doing this, and we enjoy sharing time together and then sharing our experiences with you. So thank you for being here, and thank you for listening. And as always, until next time, they'll see you later. Bye.
Bye, y'all.